Before we continue where we left off, let's hear who we have at the table, both players and characters. Hannah, will you begin?
Hello, I'm Hannah. I'm playing Winnie, Guardian of the Shared Sky.
Brennan?
I'm Brennan. I'm playing Brother Arcos Gerard, Priest of Furia.
And Rob?
Hello, I'm Rob, playing Magnus Vale, Master of Day and Night.
And I am Amelia Som, your GM, and you all are standing on the edge of the woods of the Forlorn Forest. You are mostly at the point where the tree line peters off into a barren plain toward the east of the continent from which you teleported over. And you have a decision to make. Those of you most familiar with this area, which would probably be Arcos, with this wood in particular, after teleporting here, knowing roughly the general vicinity that you were taken, you would know you have three options. You can either travel north to the outpost. It would essentially be on this sort of the edge of this forest, eventually going to a major road that would take you pretty far north. You would be able to get supplies. You would likely be able to travel with a caravan, which would be the safest form of travel. There would be the least interaction with blight. However, it will take you the better part of a week to make your way up there. And you would likely have to travel directly north to get there, then travel west, and then down to get to the city of Forlorn. Your second option would be to take one of these smaller winding trails on your own instead of the main road. You would also have to travel north a little bit over a day, and essentially navigate your way on smaller, less finished roads and trails that would take you to Forlorn on a more direct route. So you kind of go north and then slant slightly downward through the forest. Travel's less likely to be eventful, but you are probably going to have bandits and maybe some other interactions. Worth noting, this is probably, if you got really lucky, you could make it through here if you had horses or like a carriage, versus you definitely could if you go up to the outpost. The last option is just to off-road it. It is the most dangerous option. You are far more likely to experience natural antagonists. There could be creatures, there could be blight, you don't know. But it would be the quickest option, taking you in a beeline directly west toward Forlorn. But those are the choices that lie ahead as you take in your surroundings and approximate where you are.
I'm going to convey the options to the rest of the party, and then afterward say,
personally, I am obliged to go the path of that's neither the fastest nor the easiest. We can handle bandits with ease with our level of combat ability, but there's no sense in putting ourselves unnecessarily in danger.
Yeah, I'd rather not be beat up whenever we show up there. I'm good with taking the middle road.
Be a little awkward if we're bleeding. Magnus, what say you?
Magnus is still in his old man form, smoking his pipe, and he just says, "These old bones would prefer to get there sooner rather than later."
Magnus, I've always wanted to ask this, and I'm finally going to. When you change like that, does your voice actually change, or are you affecting an accent?
Wizard secrets are not given out so easily, Master Cleric.
That's a secret? I didn't know that was a secret. I was just, wow. Can you give me a hint?
I think Magnus just like puffs some smoke into your face and then like walks very elegantly past you in his flowing autumn robes and just starts striding down the path, sort of mumbling under his breath. Just.
I'm going to turn to Craig and say,
Shorter but dangerous routes looking a little more attractive.
and then be on my way.
Wait, so are we going... Which road are we going down then?
The middle, the one that's the road less traveled by, but still a road.
Small winding trails.
Not
Right,
the
got
outpost,
it.
but we're also not going camping.
Got it.
All right.
I want to go camping.
Not.
I mean, there'll be
Not
some
here.
camping. You're
We're
still in the
always
forest.
camping.
Well, yeah, we just
Okay, so you embark northward for the better part of a day and make your way toward a trailhead is a pretty generous term, but there is a worn path through the woods as the sun is high in the middle of the sky. And you head inward.
I'm going to turn to Craig and say, What's about you, lad? This could probably be bandits around here somewhere. I don't suppose you've ever encountered bandits in your travels on your side of the war, have you?
Mostly you guys.
That's yeah. Come to think of it, that makes sense.
Well spoken. You'll be a scholar yet.
Just kind of gives you a weird look and then just sort of walks ahead.
Magnus, I think I'm breaking ground with that one.
Yes, quite, yes.
Swear to God, I know about that voice.
Okay. When was the last time you think you were in the Forlorn Forest, Arcos?
Let's see here. I'm assuming I would have gone back to the monastery right before we embarked on the final campaign against the Brow toward Mount Verlar. So however long that it took us to go from Edge of the Blight territory to the mountain, and then basically to the present. I would have gone, I assume, to just get some things in order, more or less, in case I didn't come back. So, about then's abouts.
Okay, so it's been several months, I would say. As you walk through the forest, one thing you all note, the trees here are incredibly large. This is the oldest forest in the continent. So they are wide, they are tall, they eclipse the sunlight. There is, Winnie and Arcos, a little bit of unease that you are generally tuned into as you're in more blight-heavy areas. This is not as bad as the part furthest east where you were, where there are no leaves on trees. Everything looks dead and barren. But here, every now and then, you know that feeling you feel like you're being watched?
I suppose so. Not a big fan of it, but I'm familiar.
Yeah, and you get experience it a lot when you're in the woods, but there's just something that you can sense is slightly off. You see plants every now and then that you can't quite identify that are just a little bit wrong, a little sickly. Things are not growing as they should.
And was that not the case last time I was here a few months ago?
It was the case. It has not abated. It's hard to tell if it has been better or worse. since you're on the eastern side of the forest. Where you live is further to the western side of the actual city of Forlorn.
Gotcha. As I'm walking along, I'm going to lean in to Winnie really quick and say,
Winnie, you know this nature as well as I. Please tell me you don't feel it too.
Yeah, I absolutely do.
I thought we had killed something.
Yeah, I think our job just isn't done yet.
I'm not used to being this worried. Usually there's a next step involved when it comes to blight and corruption.
Yeah, well, hopefully this wild rock goose chase, I guess, that we're on will lead us somewhere. Lead us to something.
Never wanting for hope, are you?
Yeah, someone's gotta be hopeful.
Winnie lines make me want to cry. It's just, someone's got to be hopeful.
I mean, with you two sad motherfuckers, someone's gotta be. Someone's
Yeah.
gotta be.
Someone's got to bring the
Winnie,
snacks.
the pinnacle, the epitome of well-adjusted happiness.
Winnie
is the
is
best
such
liar.
a moral authority.
Oh yeah, Winnie
Yeah.
has.
When it comes to doing the right thing.
As far as Arcos knows,
she's a role model for the Twilight Wilds and for Kraith alike. Listen, that's why we have literally put her on a pedestal. She's never done anything wrong ever, and she definitely doesn't have anything to hide.
My favorite thing about Winnie is that she's never let anybody down.
Stop.
Arcos spends his days sometimes being like, God, like, I may be the son of God, but if I were Winnie, I'd be even better of a person.
Are you the son of God? I feel like
No, not at all. You are just some guy.
I have a godlike ego, I guess.
Yeah. Arcos to Arcos. Arcos is the son of God. Now to Ashkarath. Anyway, who is navigating you all through these trails?
I mean, if Arcos, I don't know how. Probably me or Arcos. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to pick one.
Well, I think that Arcos would be a little bit more familiar with the road better traveled by rather than roughing it. It might be a coin flip on between
Right.
Arcos and Winnie, but I don't know. I think that a road less traveled by, more like in the woods type thing, would be more Winnie's style.
Okay. Yeah. Then me.
Cool. I'm going to need you to see how well you do at navigating along these small paths. What kind of check?
I haven't rolled in so long.
You haven't rolled in so long. Is there something better than notice?
Notice
Notice
is
is find like the list of checks, but
Survival or common knowledge could be a good
I
alternative.
feel survival could work. Though I am unskilled in that, so let's not.
What are you skilled at?
I'm also unskilled in survival.
I'm in common knowledge. I have a D8. In notice, I have a D6, and the only other thing I think would be stealth or like smarts.
I wouldn't give you stealth for this. If you want to make a case for common knowledge versus notice, I'd be happy to hear it.
I'm more skilled in common knowledge, so let's fight for that. I mean, like, I guess it wouldn't be common knowledge because common knowledge is like what everyone knows, right? She's more specialized in this. Notice would be like noticing what branches have been recently snapped, what rocks have been recently overturned of people walking through the path, the hiking path or whatever we're on. Just looking for little signs of other people who have been through here to kind of give a direction on where to go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put this target number at 8. because it is slightly more difficult than the easiest option, but not quite as difficult as the most difficult option. And then every raise above that will give you better, quicker, more efficient travels.
That's a 7.
Okay.
Yeah. Not great.
So with a 7, as you are navigating...
Wait,
you
can I spend a Benny? I want to reroll.
You can spend a Benny to
I
reroll.
forgot that was a thing.
Benny and the Jets.
Okay, that's an 8. That's an 8.
Okay. Cool. Woo! So with an 8, you got rid of the fun thing that I wanted to do. That's so mean. With an 8, it takes some time. That is a successful roll. You're able to navigate. There are areas that are pretty flat and well trod, that you are able to very deftly ascertain the terrain. I don't like that. But you're very deftly able to navigate the terrain to try and project where would be a better option of, staying away from flooded areas or muddy areas, constantly looking for the most traveled paths. You're keeping an eye out for not only just for like snap twigs and footprints, but to see if there are any signs of recent activity, any campsites slightly off. And you are pretty comfortable with the path that you've taken. As you begin, as the sun begins to set in the sky, you're thinking that you likely need to make camp soon. Do you choose to stay relatively close to the trail, knowing that if there are other people or beings around here, they might see you, or travel further off, which might be less safe from a natural perspective, but more safe from an interpersonal perspective?
I think, I think we probably have some protective spells that could protect us from the nature around us. So I think probably to go a little farther off the path would be a good idea. I guess I don't really know the type of people that travel through here on like who would like the normal folk of who would be traveling on these roads. Would Arcos know better about that?
I would say, in this area, people who are traveling on these trails very specifically do not want to take the main road. Okay. General merchants, families, people of probably better repute are going to be on the regular human roads. This could be smugglers. This could also be people who might not be able to afford the nicer travel. This could be members of the Browl. If they were navigating through these forests, they would likely use these roads. It's pretty uncommon to just like off-road everything.
Okay, we're gonna hoof it in nature.
Okay. What are you doing to set up and protect your camp?
So I have a damage field spell that I feel like I could like set up around the camp. That just, it creates an aura that causes 2d4 damage. Doesn't really have my character sheet at least doesn't have anything more specific than that. But, yeah, I think I would cast that around our, tents or whatever we have else to set up. Magnus, you got anything good that might be able to, fend off possible wildlife or intruders?
I could try to. I guess Magnus could try to use time magic to like put us in a little crease of time if we wanted to do that. That would be a bargaining roll.
I was just thinking like a shield or something.
No, no, I don't. It's 1 or 1,000. I can make fire, or I can trap us in time. I cannot thread the needle.
Okay. I mean, I don't think that's quite necessary, trapping us in time, but that's okay. We can handle ourselves out here. So, yeah, I'm going to set up the damage aura, the damage field, like, around the perimeter.
Okay. Are y'all going to bed, or are you guys going to be taking any watches as you sleep?
I think it's smart to do watches, yeah? You guys think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nah, you guys don't need them.
There's 6 of us, so we could do like 2 people per shift.
Whoa.
Or one per hour. Or 1 per 2 hours.
We're letting Craig keep watch by himself? He's not
Yeah,
behind me, is he?
I was thinking like us 3 and Julian, that would cover, if we each did 2 hours, that would cover 8 hours.
Excellent. Excellent thinking, Winnie. I'll take first.
All right, sounds good.
That works for me. Just instantly.
Sorry, so Arcos is going first. He's next.
I can go next.
And then, Magnus, when are you going? 3rd or 4th?
I'm going last for sure.
And you're putting Julian 3rd?
Yep.
Julius Caesar.
I was writing down Magnus and saying Julian, and that's what you get. Okay, someone roll a d4 for me.
Well, I'm taking first watch. I'll take it. That's a 2.
All right. Arcos, your first watch, unless there's anything you want to do. You good?
Yeah. Oh, I thought I thought it was leading up saying, okay, your first watch, unless there's something you want to do, and like explaining what happens. That's just.
Well, if there's nothing you want to do during your watch.
Is there anything I want to do while everyone's asleep? There's one thing I could do, but I might do that another time. Probably just, chant some prayers to Furia, and nothing particularly interesting.
We got a chanting priest in our camp in the middle of the night.
Excellent.
Completely nondescript.
As you quietly chant.
Osmodeus.
Probably not that one.
You quietly chant these prayers to Furia, and that, internal presence of light keeps you feeling safe throughout this dark night. And you wake up Winnie for her watch. Winnie? Is there anything you'd like to do?
Yeah, I mean, not anything crazy, just I think as the day turns to night, Winnie's hair will turn from a night sky into a bright blue clouded day sky. And I think she would pick some sort of like rock or stump somewhere nearby, and just as she's looking out into the forest, being calm, making sure all of her teammates are asleep, I think she would take a minute to just become kind of one with nature around her, and specifically like look at the wind probably blowing through the trees between the leaves, slowly smile and say, "Man, it's times like this I wish you were still here. You would know what to do."
And you say that, and your voice carries outward on the wind. It's a cool northern breeze. And sailing on it is a song most people don't perceive. It's not music like you would typically think, but it's a cadence and rhythm that flows through the forest. And as you sit here, that unease that you felt during the day abates slightly. And flowers, which only bloom at night under the light of the moon, gently open in your presence as the twilight wilds live through you in some capacity on the material plane. some things, some gifts when granted, are never entirely lost. And a small insect lands on a leaf in front of you, catches your attention. There's some slight moonlight shifting through the leaves, an ambient sort of glow now that your half-elven eyes have adjusted to the light. And a shadow moves instantly, and the bug is gone.
I think a small tear rolls down her cheek. I think she has moments like this a lot.
Yeah. You see more of these shadows in the distance, and a droning hum shifting in the leaves, slowly coming closer and louder. What do you do?
I'm gonna use Farsight. See detail at a great distance. Again, that's all the description I get from that. I can pull it up in the book real quick. But I think it basically just lets me see if things are hidden. Hold on.
Read lips or read fine print up to a mile distant.
Oh.
With arrays, you also have range penalties for shooting, athletics, or other abilities affected by range.
I should maybe write these things down because I was thinking this was gonna help in this context, but I don't think so.
This will
actually.
help in this context.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, you're not reading lips or fine print up to a mile distant, but you have that level of specificity.
Right, okay.
I'll give you an element of night vision here,
right,
as
okay.
you're spending magic to enhance your eyes. As you look out, you see these shadows flitting back and forth, and you recognize it is a swarm of mosquito bats heading toward you and, by extension, your campsite.
Did you say mosquito bats?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, shit. How many are there? Like, you said a swarm. That's a lot. Yeah?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm gonna wake everyone up and, point. Hey, there's something coming, guys. We need to be alert. These things are nasty.
I'll grab my mace. Magnus!
I'm gonna kick him.
Who kicks an old man while he's sleeping?
I mean,
you're
would you
40.
rather be awoken by the mosquito bats that are coming this way?
No mosquito bats. Oh, why didn't you say so?
I did just now, but alright.
Okay, you've got, with your far sight, there's a couple kind of... Scouting implies a lot more intelligence than mosquito bats have.
Mm-hmm.
But they're moving toward you. You've got maybe just over a minute before a large swarm of blood-sucking, flying creatures rain hell, I guess, upon your camp. I don't know. It's not going to be a good time.
Okay. I still have that damage field up, I think, unless I need to keep casting that. If I need to recast it, I will. That does 2d4 damage for anything that crosses it, I believe.
I believe it lasts for...
It says
5
duration
rounds.
5, so...
Yeah.
Okay, so I can recast it. I'll recast it again.
Okay.
And that has taken most of my power points away, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was like, you should probably wait until it gets a little bit closer to recast it, because it'll give
Okay.
you, like, roughly, like, a half minute.
Okay, I'll wait then. I'll wait till they get to us.
What does your damage field look like?
I think it is probably a Winnie draws most of her power from the Twilight Wilds, from her connection there. So I think her connection to the Autumnal Court, it would be maybe just like a red kind of glow on the ground, kind of like making a transparent wall, kind of. So everything past it has this like reddish orange hue, but it's not super noticeable. But for it's effective for things that are not smart and are just gonna fly through it, such as mosquito bats.
Yeah, you grab a couple twigs, break them, and in the dirt on the ground carve a sigil as you whisper something in a tongue that is not spoken on this plane. And a little warm red, like cracking leaves, glows and spreads outward, and the grass around you begins to glow ever so slightly, and you see a perimeter of these ethereal sort of thorn plants that mark the natural edge of this damaged field. Anybody else doing anything?
Would I be able to send off a bolt in? You run up and send off a bolt using a PowerPoint toward the bats, the mosquito bats?
You can. You will run into a similar situation that you run into last time you set a bolt of things into a wooded area.
I can send it energy, like I can send streaks of holy light. Would that still light things on fire?
I think if it's, I will allow holy light to just fire off.
It says damaging bursts of energy, streaks of holy light, or shards of matter. So whichever one.
Yeah, we'll do streaks of holy light.
Awesome.
You're gonna like vaporize the soul of these mosquito bats in whatever form that means.
Okay, so bolt. It is a arcane. That's an arcane skill roll. Mm-hmm. And on a hit, it's 2d6 with a raise. It's 3d6. 5 and a 4. Do I want to penny that? I don't know. 5 plus 4. That's not bad. That's a 9 on the bolt.
To hit?
Yes.
That hit. Roll your damage.
Alright. D6. Other D6. That is 10. Nice.
Okay. A 10 is enough to break through its toughness.
Woo-wee. Alright, gonna drop a PowerPoint real quick.
Yeah. So you fire this bolt. Because this is like a swarm, you just sort of aim for a thick area of it. Winnie sort of points out and adjusts your... Do you fire from your mace or do you fire from your hands?
Oh, I feel like I could do either one. I think the mace looks cooler though. Real cool.
You extend your mace and fire, and it vaporizes several of these mosquito bats before they make their way into this damage field. How does the damage field deal damage?
I think you described those thorn plants, so I think it maybe shoots thorns at them. Okay. Would that be cool?
Yeah, but also like, what do I need to roll something, or does it roll something?
It's 2d4.
Do they just automatically take the damage?
I think so, yeah. It says creates an aura that causes 2d4 damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
I'll count that as a roll. That's a 4 total, I think. Do I add a d6 to that? No? Is it just 2d4?
No, it's just a 2d4.
Okay, so 4.
Yeah, I mean you can, but that means I also will get 2 if you want to do it that way.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that.
So as these mosquito bats begin to just ignited by the light, they're now traveling toward its source, and there's this faint red glow that's vaporizing them, like those, those like bright blue lights they make to put on your porch. Several still do make it through. They are not shaken. So all of you will take some damage here.
They can try.
Oh, it's automatic. You will take 3 points of damage. Assuming you guys aren't entirely sealed, as the ones who make it through begin biting you.
So that's take 3 points of damage. Wait, so is that up against our toughness? Or our parry?
Yes.
Okay. So we don't take any
Yeah.
damage if it doesn't match that.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Just making sure. Because if we took 3 points of damage, then I think most of us would be out of the count.
It has to be your toughness. You are still like getting bit, but like it's not overwhelming. But right now, as these are all on top of you, what are you guys doing?
Magnus is going to yawn really loudly. Would you say that the mosquito bats are in a medium sort of blast radius from us, like all kind of swarming around us?
Blast radius?
Yeah, but they're like, the swarm has like covered you now, so they're at a medium blast radius, but so are all of your friends.
Okay, that shouldn't be an issue. Let me just read.
Fascinating.
Let me just read a thing. Okay, so selective. With intense focus, the caster can choose not to affect any or all individual targets within a power's area of effect. Okay, so I'm going to cast Slumber, which is 2 power points. I'm going to cast it with a 3rd power point to selectively not target our party members, and then I'm going to use another PowerPoint for a total of 4 to make it cast in a medium blast template radius. And now it's a spellcasting roll and just puts victims to sleep if it meets their whatever the DC is, I suppose, which I think is just
their
4.
toughness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll roll spellcasting plus my D6. So that is going to be 7 plus 2 plus 4. So that is 13.
You needed 7.
Amazing. Yes. So Magnus is just going to yawn super big like he just got roused out of sleep. And I think it like reverberates through this like circle of magic that Winnie has created around us and sort of like echoes around these bat mosquitoes and just like puts them to sleep, just shocks them to sleep.
Yeah, after they've been vaporized by the damage field, the rest sort of begin slowly drifting and then quickly falling down to the ground as all of them are now asleep. No longer frenzying. What do you do now? How long do they stay asleep for?
That is a good question. I need to look it up in the book.
Oh, it lasts for an hour.
Yes, wonderful.
Okay.
I think I can stab the rest of them in that allotted time. Yeah.
You sure can. Are you just going to go around and stab each one as you see them? You have your special far sight on, so you can see pretty clearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So as you put...
I'll help.
Yeah.
To make it less.
Fucking lantern flies in Philadelphia. You're just going around and squashing each individual mosquito bat as they've fallen asleep.
Magnus like starts going around you with like a wire string and starts like putting them on like a daisy chain like with this wire. Goes, we can sell these for a pretty penny inside of town. Starts collecting them and putting them around his belt.
We have... okay. I don't need any more money, but if that's your venture, that's your venture.
Mosquito bat wings trade for quite a nice sum of money if you know the right vendors.
Magnus, I know it's not my business, but are you in debt, man? Like, what? Your motivations with money, I really must ask.
My finances are my own. Are you with the gnome collectors?
Julian says, Arcos, whenever he does this thing, he just commits. It's better to just go along with it.
No, go along with it. Oh my god. No, I'm not with the. Do I look like I'm with the gnome collectors?
I lost my fortune to the gnomes in the winter of '94.
It's 76, like right now.
Like, what year is it?
I was like, wait a minute.
You haven't been, or maybe 78. You haven't seen a 94.
Magnus,
He's like 40 years old.
Magnus.
This
guess you're
this
the old man
cosplay that
body.
he's doing is 200 years old.
Yes,
Magnus is LARPing.
he is. This is how he commits to his disguises. He's a full method actor.
You got a whole lore behind this character.
I just felt the need to clarify, just so the listeners know that
Yes.
they're not past
It's
the
like
year
doing the
94.
It is the year 2023
Recently.
in the third epoch of Craith.
I also you asked a 10-foot tall thing if he's with the gnomes.
They'd never see it coming.
No,
You're their
Magnus,
best
I'm
bounty
not
hunter.
with the gnome collectors. Did you lose the entire fortune to them?
It was an unfortunate game of interdimensional strip poker.
Is my shift up, or do I still have?
You can go, by the time you finish killing the mosquito bats, you can go to bed. You've earned it, Winnie.
All right,
Hey, how much-
she fucking goes to sleep. I
much-
don't need this. This like 3 a.m.
How much psychic damage do I take for hearing this old man talk about interdimensional strip poker?
Not
With a
more
bunch
than
of
usual
gnomes.
from your conversations with Magnus.
To say you have to have some sort of resistance to it by now, right?
Yeah, one would hope.
Well, Julian's turn, right?
Yup.
Yeah.
Good night.
And I'm gonna sneak off.
Okay.
Can I roll to detect him sneaking off?
Yeah, you guys can
well,
contest.
Fuck, now I got a stealth.
Yeah, you have
I
to
am
stealth
not
and
a
you have to
stealthy
notice.
man. This is not good.
Winnie's asleep.
Winnie's asleep. Honestly, good for you.
This is,
The fact that he
this is
announced
not
Does
good
his
at
own
all.
business.
the fact that it was like so soon afterwards, it wasn't.
We know his history with Tuesday nights, you know.
Oh my god, that's not good.
So what is it? What is it? Notice that I need to roll?
Arcos is going back to the gnomes. Yeah, it's a notice roll for you.
You gotta beat a 3, so good luck.
Did you also roll your d6, Brennan?
Yes, I got a 1 on the D4. I'm not stealthy because I'm 10 feet tall, and then I got a 2 on the D6.
You can use Benny if you want to re-roll
well,
it.
Yeah, you can use a
not-
Benny to re-roll.
Not. I don't.
You
think,
get more bennies every session.
Yeah,
We're
you get
already
3
so
every
far into
episode.
this one.
Yeah.
All right. I'll spend the Benny to re-roll the 2. So that can give.
No, you can re-roll both.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
re-roll
Oh,
the
cool.
dice.
Well, the D4 was a 1 anyway, and the D6 became a 3. So now I have 1. I spent a Benny, and now I rolled a 4.
Okay. Rob, what'd you get?
So I still got a cool 11. So
Sneaking off to the gnomes, Master Arcos, are you?
Yes, the gnomes. I'm telling them I'm interrupting. I'm exiting our agreement. I don't believe it suits me anymore, and I'm moving on to debt collecting for other agencies and cabals of gnomes. Yes. I will not give them your name or that I know you.
okay, so Magnus, like under his like really like grayed beard and like makeup to like old face, is going to like squint at Arcos and then like lean in and be like,
Okay, Arcos, I'm gonna level with you. It's me, Magnus.
Oh my god, man, you had me going. I thought you were dead and you were replaced by this old man. I'm so happy to see you.
I know, I appreciate it. I've been working really hard on this one, but don't blow my cover.
You had me completely fooled. That was incredible.
Where are you going off to, man?
To pray in the forest. I needed some more quiet time to myself. Couldn't quite afford it when I was keeping watch.
Cool.
Needed absolute focus, and I wouldn't think you'd be super happy with me going off to pray alone. I'm supposed to be watching camp.
Cool. See, the thing is that you already got in like a solid prayer sesh for like an hour during your watch. So
I need absolute solitude for this particular form of meditation. Monk things, you know.
Magnus like looks at him, and then like you sort of see him like look a little bit embarrassed, like, oh yes, your special meditation, right? Yeah, need some privacy. Sorry, yeah, no, you know, the road gets lonely, and yeah, we all need a little bit of a break, so yeah. Well, Magnus thinks that you're implying that you're gonna go
Jack off in the woods?
Yeah, it seems like what you're about to, what you're kind of throwing down there.
No, oh my god. I'm socially inept. I didn't pick up on that. I'm gonna say
yes. Yes.
So I think even though Magnus thinks that Arcos is gonna go jerk off in the woods, I think I still want to. Can I still make a check to see if I can tell that he's like lying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we've done insight with like, I mean, I guess you can use notice.
Yeah,
but,
notice is supposed to be both perception and insight. Like that's what the book says. It's specific, like literally, like can tell if someone you're talking to is lying or something like that.
Yeah.
What do you roll if you're lying? Because I guess I don't see it or I don't have the skill. Because from what I have.
There's
is there a deception?
Deception skill, but
I just don't have it. Okay, so it's a -2 if you're unskilled.
Yeah. Do you have any like performance or
persuasion? What is deception besides evil persuasion? Honestly,
I got nothing.
You can roll your spirit.
Okay. Woohoo! I'll take it.
Yeah.
You have to beat a 12.
Okay. Damn. I'm gonna spend Benny number 2 out of 3 really quick.
Spending all your bennies to lie to your best friend.
I know.
Relatable content.
What am I doing? I rolled a 1 on the D12 is why I'm doing this.
yeah, I know. I mean, like 3 a.m. sort of a weird time to get these urges out, but I honestly, there's weirder times to do it, you know. So,
how?
do you need any like magazines or like?
God, what? The dice gods do not want me to lie to my best friend. That's a 1 and a 3, so that's a 4 with the reroll.
Yeah, you can tell. Magnus, not only can you tell he's lying, you're about like, yeah, he's probably not even going to jack off in the woods either. Like he's lying about something else.
Like it's not, like he was gonna do that anyway as sort of like a pretext to be like, I can sort of like tell a half truth. Magnus is certain that he's like didn't even think that far ahead. Okay.
Yeah, like nothing that he said is the thing he's doing.
Yeah, but Magnus is a master of deception, so he's not gonna let that affect him in this conversation. So I think Magnus.
Why did he put no points in lying? Sorry, continue.
Yeah, anyway, well, I'm gonna go to sleep. Julian's gonna be keeping watch. Remember, I'm a different old man. The next time you see me, I'm gonna sound different again, so just, like, watch out for that. Don't trip on anything. Make sure to bring plenty of paper towels or whatever.
Magnus is gonna go to sleep. Asterisks. I also want to send Alfalfa after Arcos, like covertly.
Make a stealth check, and then Arcos make a general notice check.
So Magnus's stealth is bad, but would my shadow cat have a better stealth than a D4?
I feel like a shadow kitty would be pretty damn stealthy.
I'll give your shadow kitty a D6.
Okay. Yes.
Why? Am I blowing a third Benny? The blind
Because it's the middle of the night.
Yeah,
And it's made of
literally,
shadow.
what the fuck
No,
are
no.
you doing?
I was wying on
we
my
have an
die,
exploding
sorry.
dice for alfalfa.
Oh, I keep forgetting that's a thing.
Oh wait!
remember
Oh
that.
yes, that's a 4 that explodes. That's a 6. But I rolled a 2 on the D6. For context, my spirit is a D12, and I still rolled a 4. So that's how tonight's gone, and that's with the Benny. 2 plus 2 plus 4, 8.
What did Alfalfa get?
An 11.
Oh my!
Yeah, you don't see him.
God.
Okay, Arcos, what the fuck you doing?
I am going to be secretly communing with a demon. This is the this was the one of the secrets I put in my backstory about where do you go when you sneak off on Tuesday nights or whatever.
So, okay.
So
What does that look like for Arcos?
honestly, I was like, dude, what is it like suck a fuckubus, fuck a succubus, or whatever? Or am I like talking? I was like going through all the different types of demonic, interesting lift. But I think that it's a sort of quasi relationship Arcos moved on from to replace the whole Askarath left when that went deep south, and so just like a rather a humanoid, if it's replacing Askarath, probably feminine demon who has a very superficial level of care for Arcos and his problems. That's probably leading nowhere good. So if I can give you more to work with, but if you want to freewheel it from there.
Okay. So what does that like, but like what, do you just go out in the woods and like summon a demon?
So the way I was picturing it was when I was quashing the demonic forces of the Brow, I picked up like an artifact. I didn't know what it did, and I just I was picturing like a piece of obsidian or something, and I chant some words with it really quick, and
Just a
chant the
random word.
inscription, and just this thing just appears.
Okay. So you head off.
They definitely have a name.
Their name is Nylara.
Yeah, it is.
Go, Falfy, go.
You head off a good distance away from the group where you know no one is going to be like hearing you. Doesn't seem like anyone is following you. You have this obsidian shard that is fixed onto the end of a necklace. It is a glossy sort of opaque black. As you hold it up and say the word inscribed in it, which is Nylara, a beautiful woman appears in front of you and says, "It's been a while."
To be honest, I've been trying to kick the habit. Not exactly good optics for a man of Furia to be communing with a demon. No offense, Nilara.
None taken. Although, are you still a man of Furia?
I like to think so.
Are you
Been
sure they
fighting
think so?
They, the monastery. I'm their proudest member.
I've heard you praying, Arcos. They haven't been being answered. Do you think Furia's moved on to someone else?
I come here to get away from the rest of the world, not to face it in some darkened form. I don't have to keep summoning you, you know.
then don't.
Point taken.
You know, Arcos, I could help you.
We've been over this before. A friendship, transactional, nothing else.
Are we friends?
Well, what would you call me?
I think what we have here is an amazing opportunity. You speak of transactions, and I know, and you know, what you really want is power. You want the adoration of these people. You want to save them. And you put yourself in Furia's hands, and all they've done is make a fool of you.
A fool? I'll have you know I do have the admiration, and I did save those people. That wasn't a joke, Melara.
You threw a rock into a volcano. You massacred a military site and then exploded a forest. And what has changed? I still see blight. Do you think Furia even cares?
I'm going to grab my mace and then be like, probably shouldn't go smacking trees or something out of anger. That probably looks suspicious. And then just gently set it back down, get control of myself, and say,
Furia has answered my prayers since I was a child.
And yet right now, I'm the one coming when you call.
What the hell was that?
We're in a forest.
Sorry, I was feeling a bit paranoid. Don't need the conquering hero to be revealed as a hypocrite now, would I? Be unfortunate.
It'd be very unfortunate. Must be hard. Living with all these versions of yourself. You could make things so much simpler, Arcos.
By doing what?
By making a deal.
We've been over this before. There will be no deal, and there is no accord. I don't even want to hear the proposal. Life is lonely. I don't need to burden my only friends in this world with my troubles any more than I already have. I can't go back to Askarath. Furia has the tendency to be a very subtle deity.
Absent.
Subtle. I'm going to say subtle. Deity. And sometimes you just need somebody to talk to honestly.
I've never been anything but honest with you, Arcos. Can you say the same for your friends?
I did not expect Magnus to have had such a troubled past. But what's important is that he came clean when it was necessary.
And now you believe he's holding no more secrets.
Of course not. He's my best friend. And Winnie, not even you could corrupt such a soul as Winnie. There is no one as pure or as true.
Oh, Arcos, you're so sweet. That's what I love about you.
I've been called many things before. Never sweet.
I thought that's why you bring me out, because I'm honest.
At times you provide moments of clarity, but you also lie. My friends, as of now, harbor no more secrets. Winnie has never lied or kept anything from me in her entire life.
Arcos, I have never once told you a lie.
Then tell me that Winnie is keeping something from me.
Those are not my secrets to tell. I don't know everything about your friends. I do have a life when you're not summoning me. But I know mortals. And I know the types like your good buddies. And there's more secrets than you could possibly imagine.
Magnus is closer to demigod than mortal. I lived
And
for
yet-
1,000 years. I'm a half-giant. Winnie can jump through planes of existence. Mortals is an insult for me and my friends.
She takes a small knife and sort of stabs you right in the crook of your shoulder.
Oh!
And pulls it back. And yet you still bleed.
Immortal. Not invulnerable.
Tell me, Arcos, if you sever the thread that ties you to Furia, one that is thinning by your own admission, what are you then?
Months ago, these meetings were a lot more fun.
I'm having fun.
For both of us.
We can still have fun. I can go. Do you want me to leave?
Not ready to go back yet.
That's what I thought. They don't know you like I know you, Arcos. No one does.
I know that. You just don't have to say it.
Fair enough. And from there, we will fade to black as whatever happens between Arcos and Nylara happens in the cover of night, witnessed only by Alfie.
I was not expecting that.
Holy fuck, dude. So Arcos comes back from watch. You come back to Julian and Craig talking a little bit, who kind of quiet down as they see you approach. I assume you're not stealthily returning back to camp at this point.
No. I'd fail it anyway, apparently.
Yeah. They head back
thud.
Yeah, you head back to sleep slightly more exhausted than you were heading out. And Magnus, you take your watch.
Yeah, as like when Julian wakes me up, like I think he probably clocks that this entire time, like one of Magnus's cross eyes has been like open and like tracking with Alfalfa. And like,
You know, it's really creepy when you do that.
I know, but it is quite useful. Get some sleep now, lad. I have some thinking to do.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're tracking with Alfalfa, you probably saw more things than you wanted to see, my guy, but you're awake now and you can deal with those thoughts.
He's completely whipped, but his technique is impeccable.
Magnus starts kindling a small fire as like we get into the early hours of the morning. And as like the last like half hour of the watch like is sort of winding up, he starts boiling some water for like coffee, and like starts heating up a skillet to make some breakfast for the party. As he's sort of smoking on his pipe in his old man form, looking into the distance with 1,000-yard stare that one only acquires by deep arcane knowledge or watching a half-giant and a succubus yell at each other for a while. And I think the sort of late night becomes early morning as the sun rises and the camp is filled with the smell of cooking meat and boiling water and coffee.
Yeah. You all come to in the morning. There are dozens upon dozens of dead little bats, aside from the ones that Magnus continued stringing up during his watch.
He's fried some up for breakfast as well, I think. He's cooked up some of them.
Sure, naturally.
I think Winnie probably has like brought stuff from the kitchen in her bags or whatever. So
Oh yeah.
we don't need to be cooking those. That's gross. And she pulls some I want to say frozen meat, but like I don't know how they would have kept it frozen. So just like
Dried meat.
Yeah, dried meat. Yeah, there you go.
Thank
grill.
Furia and all the gods. No offense, Magnus.
I'm not
Mosquito
trying.
bat
I'm not-
wings are quite nutritious.
I'm not trying that.
No, they're quite a delicacy.
He takes one and he bites it, and it's like way too crunchy. It's like so crunchy.
It's really good. They're good for
Yeah.
replenishing electrolytes after a long walk in the forest.
What is an electrolyte?
It's a wizard term that you're not quite smart enough to comprehend, my friend.
Interdimensional nutrient from a time far in the future.
Furious tears.
Magical component derived from the sweat of gators.
Jesus Christ.
Oh God, dude.
Yeah, so as you all eat your breakfast, come to clean up your campsite, you begin again on the next part of your journey. Are you heading back toward the trail, I presume?
Yar, if that's what everyone else wants to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead and give me just another did we decide on notice?
Yeah, I think I battled for notice.
Yeah, give me another notice.
That is an 8.
Okay. With an 8, you're able to confidently navigate yourselves back on toward the trails and begin moving closer to Forlorn. The forest doesn't open up into a clearing, but you can see where the trees, typically incredibly large and wide and sporadic in that way that nature tends to be, become more ordered. The trails that you are on begin to connect back toward a larger road coming in from the east as you begin, or the northeast, as you begin to see a large sort of convergence of elegant tree houses with brick and dirt architecture that marks the outer natural walls of the city of Forlorn.